Back at it again. Time for a little shoulder and forearms. A much earlier workout today. Tuesday and Thursdays I typically get out early. So today I will keep to that promise that the after workout car talk will not be in the dark. So I think this will be another shorter car talk because I am picking up the gym partner from his house so he doesn't have to drive since we're going to the same place. So we're going carpool. So a shorter car talk, and I need to find my sunglasses. I have no idea where they disappeared to. But probably a shorter car talk, much like myself, short. So the plan for today, obviously, shoulders and forearms. But before you guys see the workout, I do want to acknowledge the fact that we go to a gym that does have a kegs and trap bars and a log, if you know what a log is. If not, you'll see it. But me and Brandon were talking yesterday, and he pointed over to the log. He goes, "You want to use that for shoulder press tomorrow?" And I was like, you know what? Why not? Which the variety is the spice of life. So today, instead of dumbbell shoulder press, barbell overhead, military press, or a machine or a Smith machine, we're gonna be using the log for the heck of it. So we're in no way trying to say we are strongmen, and we are in no way saying that is the only shoulder press or way to do a overhead shoulder press in the building. We're just having a little fun. So changing things up, having a little fun. So that is the reasoning behind what will be probably our first or second movement. So anyways, I'm gonna hop off and finish this drive, and I'll see you guys at the gym for your shoulder action. All right. Oh, let's start with some gradual raises. I'm not gonna go as heavy as I did last week. But warm up before we press anything. All right, as promised in the car talk, a little log action today. And no, I'm not talking about dropping one in a toilet. Put some weights on it. Whew. I'm not entirely sure about this, so it might go very well or very wrong. But we're going to go for it anyways. Yeah, buddy. If you've never tried these, this is a great variation of a face pull. We have a pretty good cable row here where the seat is much lower than the cable. So it's a lot better for it. Oh. 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 I'm like starting a lawnmower over here. Whew. Uh, 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 uh. Ooh. Uh. Huh. The pen just came out. You see that? How on God's green earth? Well, let me. Huh. This thing is junk sometimes, ain't it? No, don't put it in yet, boy. Let me get it to the bottom. Thanks, buddy. Huh. Okay. Why'd it feel lighter after that? The heck? For context. That cable pen slowly comes out all the time. I've never had it do that. The pen literally just came out and fell into the rate stack somehow. Make sure that pen stays in this time. Oh. Right. Shoulder portion is done. Time for your forearm action. Oh, forearms pumped. Ooh. They take Apple Pay. Oh, you have your card. Ooh. And just like that, we're back in the car for another talk. I would say that was a fairly successful shoulder and forearm day. Nothing too crazy. I I like using the log. You know, I do not blame Brandon at all for wanting to use it for shoulder press instead of doing traditional shoulder press. It does spice things up once in a while to do something different. I mean, I'm no strong man. I'm not looking to ever compete in strongman, so using a log is not using the log for shoulder press isn't exactly anything I need to practice. But it does change things up, give you something different than hitting dumbbell shoulder press again, or using the machine, or hitting Smith, or hitting the military press, whatever the case may be. But I will say it was a good workout. My shoulders are definitely feeling it. Now I'm going to let you in on your secret here. I did film essentially, basically a pose down, right? But what it was is I was like, you know what? I have an 8-8ing today because it was an army workout. I'm feeling light. I'm feeling good. I'm down 4 pounds. I was like, I'm going to see how I look. And to be honest, I like how I'm looking right now. I really am. And especially with nothing in me, kind of a bit, I wouldn't say I'm completely, what is it called? I can't think of the word. I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily dried out or anything by any means. Obviously, I hold enough body fat. I'll never be quote unquote dried out. But, my glycogen stores are at least slightly depleted because I'm eating anywhere between 50 to 60 carbs a day, sometimes 100 once in a while. But I'm eating fairly low carb just because I lose weight a lot faster that way. So, and if I'm eating carbs, it's a lot easier, at least for me, to be tempted and to give in to cravings. Like I have a lot more cravings when I'm eating higher carb. So for me, at least lowering my carbs to 100 or less helps a lot with sticking to my diet. So I'm not holding as much water. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel, but it does give a bit of a dry effect where I can see a little more definition. And so I was feeling really good. Took my shirt off, kind of did a physique update. And I was going to put in the video, and I looked back at it. It was a terrible angle where everything I seen in the mirror, where I was like, yeah, we're looking good. I am confident enough to post this. I'm really liking where we're sitting right now, and I'll have this video to look back on and be like, oh wow, I've made a lot of progress in the last month or whatever. I am happy with the progress I've made in the past 20 days of this challenge. So, of this journey to 160. But I'm not quite confident enough once I get a tripod and I can set up a better angle, kind of right next to me, pointed at the mirror I'm in front of, that would be better. Because I ended up having to find a way to kind of get the camera on something in front of me so I could stand in front of it with the rear facing, like the selfie mode, so I could stand in front of the camera. And so I'm looking in the mirror, but the camera's kind of like down here pointed upwards a little bit. So obviously I'm seeing face on, you know, getting a good view. I'm making what I see, and then I go back and look at the footage. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm not posting that. So one day I will probably, hopefully, once I get a tripod, I will start doing at least some check-ins where I will do like a not necessarily a pose down, but I will go for like poses just so we can get a general idea of where I'm sitting, muscle definition wise, body fat percentage wise, and so on and so forth. And then I might do those once every 2 weeks or once a month, something like that, so we can compare and contrast the progress I've made. But I will say, I got these shorts washed and dried and put on today, and I had to tie them a lot tighter than I have been, and I I feel light today, and I'm down 4 pounds since I started. So in 20 days, 4 pounds. We'll take it. That just means by the end of the month, hopefully, I can hit 5 to 6 pounds lost. That's not quite where I want to be. I would like to lose 8 pounds, 8 to 10 a month, 2 pounds a week, somewhere in there. But I will tell on myself I've not completely locked in on the diet entirely until this past week. That being said, I wasn't cheating on my diet, but I was still eating about 150, 200, sometimes even 300 grams of carbs because I was eating potatoes and rice and stuff. Just, they were good carb sources, but like I said, my body just responds so much better to lower carb, and I don't get as bad of cravings when I eat lower carb. So, plus I did up my protein intake. So, this week has been more of a 200 to 220 grams of protein, which is more than I need, but I'm full, right? So, aiming for that in protein, and then I've been hitting about 50 to 60 grams of carbs, and almost about the same in fat. That's the thing, is I'm not looking to eat a keto or anything. I try to keep my fat and my carbs low and just focus on the protein. As long as my protein is hitting where it needs to be, I didn't go over 100 grams of carbs, and my fats aren't over at least 40 to 50 grams per day. That's kind of that's the sweet spot for me. So this is the time where it's time to start buying keto buns because they're low in calorie, higher in fiber, lower in carb, so I can still enjoy stuff like that. Now is the time to pretty much only let potatoes be my carb source, because potatoes are the most satiating food. And to be honest, they aren't that, it's not that bad. You can have several hundred grams of them and get pretty full for not a lot of calories and really not a horrible amount of carbs. Yes, you're going to get plenty of carbs in, but like I said, aiming for 100 or less. So I still, maybe for one meal, we'll dice up some potato, throw it in the air fryer. But for the most part, it's just right now chicken breast, ground chicken breast, lean ground beef, steak. Center cut pork chops are super lean, especially if you just trim the little bit of fat that's on the side. Stuff like that. Low carb tortillas. Those carb balance, or those extreme wellness that are like 50 or 60 calories per wrap, loaded with fiber, even have some protein. I use those. Keto bread in place of normal ass white bread. Sorry, sir, you can go ahead. You were already pulling out, so just go for it. But instead of normal white bread, keto buns instead of normal hamburger buns. That's what that's what baffles me is I've talked about in previously on the channel the the Walmart brand what is it? Better Goods keto friendly hamburger buns. They aren't any smaller than a normal hamburger bun. You're getting less. They don't taste any different. They don't somehow, some way, they don't have the sponginess of most keto breads, and they don't have the weird toughness on the crust that most keto breads and keto buns have. They are surprisingly soft and surprisingly good. So I would say that they are the best hamburger bun I've ever found. But it's just insane to me that they can be 50 calories a bun when, depending on the brand, if you buy the Nature's Own butter hamburger bun or the ballpark hamburger buns or whatever, you're looking at anywhere between 110, depending on the brand, to 210 per hamburger bun. When you could just have a keto friendly hamburger bun for 50 calories. So for what someone else might be having one hamburger on a bun, I could enjoy, I could portion out lean ground beef and have 3 or 4 hamburgers for the same amount of calories with way more protein. You just think about that. That's insane to me. If you substitute out the keto buns or the normal buns, keto buns, you can have like 3 to 4 keto buns for the calories of one ballpark hamburger bun, and you can have four about 4 to 6 ounce patties made with ground chicken. And I will say this. Oh, you might think that wouldn't taste great. Ground chicken, I promise you, it is almost borderline impossible for it not to taste good. I have burnt the daylights out of a patty before, and it was still juicy inside. It is insane. It cooks super fast, and it tastes really good. And so you take that, throw some fat-free or reduced fat singles on there, 50 calories, some extra protein, and you are in business. Some light mayo or some sugar-free ketchup, you are in business, baby. And it makes dieting super easy. And if the ground chicken doesn't sound like it's for you, well, you're in luck, because Walmart sells pre-pat, ready to go 90-10 patties. Or you can just buy some extra lean ground beef. You can buy 90 free 7. You can buy 99-1 ground turkey. You can buy ground chicken. I mean, some people act like dieting is the most just insane thing to do. It's so hard. But especially now with social media and people who have dieting apps and stuff, it has never been easier to diet. It has never been easier to be on and stay on track. So there's so many fad diets as it is, right? You can choose between keto, paleo, carnivore, if it fits your macros, OMAD, intermittent fasting, all that. I mean, truly. And they all work. And wanna know why? Because as long as you're tracking your calories, you're going calories in, calories out. If you're doing your cardio, your weight training, because guess what? the more lean muscle mass you have, the faster your metabolism. So weight train, cardio, count your calories, hit your protein. 4 simple rules for weight loss. I've been doing this for almost 8 years. And sure, I've lost the weight very slowly. But studies have shown people who lose it too fast, one, you get stuck with loose skin if you lost a lot. But they put it back on. They almost always rebound. It's not sustainable because chances are they crashed dieted. What I do, I'm losing it slowly. I've lost 110 pounds, 160 if you count bouncing up 50 pounds during COVID and having to cut back down. And I got about 30 or 40 more pounds to go. And I've lost it slowly over time because I didn't diet. I had a lifestyle change. I changed how I live life. I'm not someone who lives life stationary, sedentary, who doesn't work out, who doesn't exercise, who doesn't do his cardio, who just sits around and does nothing. I used to be someone who I sat around and watched TV all day, sat around and watched YouTube on my phone all day, played games on my phone, got lost in TikTok, got lost in YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and just scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and didn't do anything. And ate, I could eat an entire Little Caesars pizza in a sitting for a meal. I remember one time I worked at Walmart, and there was a McDonald's nearby, and it was about the time they dropped the 40-piece nugget and a basket of fries deal for parties. On my lunch break, I got the 40-piece nuggets, a basket of fries, and a chocolate shake, and I put it all down as a meal. Now I can't even finish a 10-piece if I go to McDonald's. Like, that's it. 10-piece medium fry and Diet Dr. Pepper. Or I get the chicken tenders if I go by at all. I try to avoid it. But that's how I was. Sedentary eating. I obviously I don't know the numbers because I didn't count calories back then. But I could have been eating upwards of 35,000 to 5,000 calories some days. So, there's a lifestyle change where now I try to get in fiber, I try to get in fruit and vegetables, I try to get in my protein. I'm active. I do an hour of cardio every day. I weight train for 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. But I weight train every day unless I need to recover. I rarely, if ever, have cheat meals or cheat days. But, I do eventually. It's nice to have a refeed. I don't want my metabolism to be completely and totally just bogged down from dieting all the time. But enough about that. Workout complete. Car talk complete. I'll see you guys tomorrow for legs. I believe it is a hamstring focus day. So I'll see you tomorrow for hamstrings.